essay just said, the tall woman went for a walk. If they all sounded like that, then it would kind of get boring if each sentence looked the same, sounded the same. And so this is a way that you can just vary the structure and be a better writer. Okay? Alright, so...
Like the tall, lanky woman went for a walk, like people get bored. The one that's tall and lanky.
Exactly. Okay, so yesterday you all read The Raven, right? Yes. If I can get this changed. Maybe we'll give it a minute. And Wednesday we talked about, what did we talk about Wednesday? Someone tell me. About tone and...
But didn't we read The Raven, or that was that other one?
That was yesterday.
Dr. Myers and Mrs. Myers.
Tell me what happened yesterday. Atmosphere and the mysterious and the dark and heavy tones. Does that make sense? So the atmosphere is usually mystery and suspense. Did you see that yesterday in the story, like mystery?
Not really. I thought it was.
Okay. What omens or visions where the character might have a disturbing dream, or there's a shadow, they see a shadowy figure move.
Yes, Alyson.
Was that movie The Omen?
I would guess that was.
So usually there'd be ghosts or giants or an inanimate object would come to life. For example, like Scooby-Doo, you know, the suit of armor that's usually standing like this. And you'll see the eyes move or the arm will reach out. That's Gothic elements.
And then
she
said for me Wednesday,
music, which
so
we
she
listened
was
to the other day.
teaching
And
in
there's our
Southern.
gargoyles. There's a lot of
So
emotion
Wednesday
going
after
on
started
with the
that
character.
unit, and then
Usually
finishing
he
it
may
up.
be angry. There may be a hint of insanity, sorrow, surprise, or fear. The character may be afraid of what's going to happen. Terror is a real big one. Especially even terror in reading. Feelings of doom, panic.
Right. Okay.
And then
Thank you.
part
Bye.
of the setting would be the atmosphere. The wind would be howling, or there'd be a storm at midnight with the lightning.
Real fun.
And the trees.
Fog.
leaning down.
Yes, very good. Okay. So today we are going to read an Edgar Allan Poe story. But before we do, let me mix these up really well this time. We are going to do what's called a tea party. Okay? I know. Now, quietly turn to your neighbor and share your phrase with them. I want you to try to figure out the connections. What might that mean? What might this phrase have to do with your partner's phrase? Can you make a guess about what the story will be about or what will happen? I'm trying to mix this up very well. Last class, everybody on the side.
That's not the game. I'm not a boy. I mean,
So you got the happy one, because that's what that means. And actually, that's a very good
I got
one.
till midnight. I got two of the same.
If you have two, please pass it to your neighbor. You just need one. I want to make sure that have enough.
See, that's what
His eye. It's gonna be like a ghost.
You think someone's going to die?
I think someone died. And then there's gonna be a ghost.
Okay, so you think someone has already died and there will be a ghost. Yes, sir.
This says, I admit to be. Mine says nervous, very, very, very nervous. So maybe he's nervous about what he did.
Okay. What about I admit the deed? What kind of deed?
Murder.
Murder? Any other ideas?
Sabotage.
Okay. Is there? There's another phrase floating around here. Do you have a different phrase from what we talked about? We had
That's the one
that.
I got.
What do you have? The eye. Okay. What did you and your partner come up with? What you say about the eye? Nothing. Let's see what your partner has. The character looks the same. Or this part is similar to the poem we read yesterday. Or the differences are. Or especially the setting. This setting reminds me of that, the dark haunted castle in that movie. My favorite. Hocus Pocus, where the witch's house. Okay, so are there any questions about this? You got it? You know what to do? Okay, so as we read the Telltale Heart, it's in your literature book on page 46. Page 46. Okay. I'm pulling it up. I think it's page 46.
The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe.
So, throughout the story, I will pause it in certain places and I'll say, okay, now turn to your partner and say something. And just do it quietly because everyone else will be talking as well and they need to hear what their partner is saying. Okay, y'all ready? Here we go.
True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute.
Notice that your phrases are already mentioned.
Yeah.
So turn to your partner and say something about the story. Maybe the connection you made now, maybe you understand how your phrase fits into the story.
I don't understand.
Are you ready to move on? Does someone have something they'd like to share? Tell us something that maybe you and your partner came up with quickly that you want to hold back. Yes, sir.
I think,
You think he's going to kill the old man?
Didn't he just say that?
Yes, he's still on the.
What do you think? Okay, yes, sir.
Well, my friend says I love the old man, and it just said that, and I think it said that because the old man, he was tired of something with the blue eye, he was so cold.
Very good, very good connection.
Oh, I wasn't meant to be, so I'm guessing the killing the owner is probably the key.
Okay, very good. One more. Tell us what you got.
He's a vampire.
You think he's a vampire. Do you have a reason for thinking that? What makes you think that he's a vampire?
Because, I don't know.
Because you don't know. You need a good reason. Is it maybe because is it because he's talking of the eye or okay. The freaky eye. Okay, well let's find out what happens. Everybody follow along. The man's fear. The old man's looking up. What are his fears?
Maybe it was a mouse.
What does he say? Right, and he said, or the wind in the chimney.
Or the cricket,
The yes. And so what is that? What did we just talk about?
Terror.
Terror, the elements of, what is that? Gothic elements. That's our Gothic elements coming into our story. Okay?
He has been trying to comfort himself with these suppositions. And now, have I not told you that what you mistake for madness is but over-acuteness of the senses? Now, I say there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury, as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage. But even yet I refrained and kept still. I scarcely breathed. I held the lantern motionless. I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray upon the eye. Meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, I say louder every moment.
Yes, what was your question?
How is the body like not going to deteriorate and like stink?
Okay, that's a very good question. So,
Hide it outside of where they live. Where they live.
so you're wondering, if it's going to be stinky and smell, why is he hiding it where he hid it? Okay? Is there another? Yeah, we hope so.
Oh, what the heck does the end of?
Okay, so on this is called a Likert scale, and you can put your name and date at the top. And on this sheet, I have just created some statements about the story when I read. I made some statements. They may be true, they may be false. It's really an opinion statement. And so what I want you to do is to put on the line or circle if you disagree, strongly disagree, agree, or strongly agree. And then give me evidence why. Give me evidence from the story. And you don't have to write a complete sentence. I'm not going to check that. Just jot it down on the line or underneath the line. Tell me, yes sir. Okay. As in, what's the opposite of sane?
Insane.
Insane. So what is insane?
Crazy.
Crazy. So